So as the Mises seminar draws to a close after another year, it is perhaps fitting to reflect upon the event's intent since its conception and what has been accomplished. The first Mises seminar grew out of discussion between myself and Washington Sanchez several years ago. Over a few cups of coffee, Washington made reference to the first Austrian Scholars Conference that took place in Vernon, the United States, 1974. I believe Jeffrey Tucker has written an article about this as well. But at this seminar, the first kind of modern US Mises seminar of sorts, there were 50 individuals, professors, businessmen, students, much like today. The kind of impetus of the seminar was to advance Mises' ideas and contribute to the edifice of liberty. From memory, Rothbard's also kind of reviewed these seminars early on, and this event was held twice, and though it kind of petered out. It's essentially only in 2008 that we see the second Austrian revival, with former US Congressman and presidential candidate Ron Paul's campaign for liberty. The historical parallels in respect to this are quite apparent when comparing the United States and Australia. Our first kind of Austrian revival was with the Workers' Party, many of those who are here, in fact, here today. This was a kind of a natural starting point in terms of attempting to kickstart the second revival of the Austro-Libertarian school here in Australia. Part of this wider plan in bringing these ideas down under was how to best do this. The Liberty Australia Institute was created in late 2008, was producing fairly good content online, but there was a lack of personal contact with others of a similar persuasion. The idea of a local seminar was floated, but if it was going to be done and done well, why not aim for the sky? And so a national seminar it was to be. Teaming up with Benjamin Marks from economics.org.au in Sydney was pivotal in getting the ball rolling. Without the generosity of the late, great Neville Kennard Storage, much of this would not have been possible and been able to take place. So there were several goals to kickstart the second Austro-Libertarian revival down under. The first was to provide a principled and intellectually enlightening experience that has a solid foundation grounded in sound Misesian economic and political theory. The second was to build a community and bring together like-minded individuals, whereby connections could be made so that local events could be spurred and the network of liberty increased. We hope we have planted seeds today, and so that everyone continues to grow and influence others. The third was to add to the edifice of liberty, so that the Austro-Libertarian principles could be applied in an Australian context, and that when you are inevitably asked, but who will build the roads, there is some relevancy in that these issues have been promoted and addressed in Australia as opposed to some far foreign land. It was generating content that could be used to spread the message and educate others locally. On that last point, though, there was a rough plan that was set out in my mind when considering the type of schedule to produce. It is often difficult to strike a balance between outlining a theory and principles, addressing contemporary issues, and whilst also being entertaining. The idea, though, was that each year would kind of build upon the last. So in 2011, we had Hans Hermann Hoppe come out to speak in Sydney. He outlined, as a philosopher and economist, outlined the theoretical and philosophical foundations. He set the basis. In 2011, we had Walter Plumline Block, who provided the middle ground. And then over this weekend, we've had the brilliant Jeffrey Tucker, who has provided a greater focus on the practical things that libertarians can do. So as the Mises seminar draws to a close after its third year, there are many people to thank. I'd like to thank Sam Kennard for sponsoring Jeffrey Tucker and his family for their support. Jeffrey Tucker, we realise you're high in demand. Thanks for missing Thanksgiving for us, as well as providing the incredibly entertaining talks. I look forward to seeing what you can accomplish with liberty.me, and I have no doubt it'll be fantastic. To Ron Manners, who could not be here this weekend, but sent a bunch of great West Australians in his stead, thank you, but also I'd like to thank a shout out to the Mankell Economic Education Foundation for their support over the years as well. To the speakers, thank you for donating your time to prepare, travel and present. And most of all, on behalf of the organising committee, we thank you, the attendees, because without you, it wouldn't have been such an enjoyable event. So moving on, moving forward, we seek and welcome your feedback, but also request your support. So yes, just in conclusion, last year I put forward an ambitious shout out to Dr. Ron Paul to embark upon an international freedom tour to help spread the message of liberty outside the United States. This was met with a rapturous applause. He is, however, a man in high demand, and plans to bring him down under were not really economical. It is with great pride though that he asked these words to be read instead. So it is a pleasure to send my greetings and good wishes to the organisers, speakers and participants of the Australian Mises Seminar. The explosion of interest in Austrian economics is one of the most exciting and positive developments I have witnessed in recent times. I'm particularly pleased by all the young people now reading Mises, Rothbard, Hayek and the other giants of the Austrian school. It is my conviction that the ideas of the Austrian school hold the key to peace and prosperity. I was convinced of this when I began studying Austrian economics decades ago, and promoting these ideas inspired me to become active in public life. In fact, I was moved to run for office by Richard Nixon's infamous statement, "We are all Keynesians now." Well, with thanks for the growth of organisations such as the Australian Mises Seminar, I'm confident that soon one day will come when we can say we're all Austrians now. Have a great seminar and stay steadfast in promoting the ideas of liberty. So, on behalf of the organising committee, let's do just that. Thank you.